Time to bring the bass back.
Mix is the beat of our culture. Your music.
I thank God for the opportunity to make music and for that music to be on a platform for people to come out and love.
Your stories.
It's gold for the Philippines.
The next generation of creators, artists, and filmmakers.
We bring you the latest and greatest impacting people from our community.
Spotlighting inspiring content from Generation Mix.
It's just a true honor to be able to do this, especially with all the great Filipino talent here.
Discover fresh artists first from around the world. Uniquely Filipino.
Step back three. He has got that.
Mix is the beat of our culture.
Hey guys, it's Sam with 2Ms and welcome to this MYXclusive interview. Hello to everybody who is tuning in live here on our social media platforms. Thank you so much for joining us on this beautiful Wednesday in Manila, but wherever you are in the world right now, thank you so much for joining us. I'm so excited to be here with all of you because joining us for today is a fast-rising Filipino-American rapper, and he recently released a new single which is called Fade Away. So I'm really excited to talk about that, but also music in general and just life as well, since it is his first time here on MYXclusive with me. So everybody please welcome to MYXclusive MBNel.
Oh yeah, thank y'all for having me.
Hi, how are you? Thank you for joining us today. How was your day? Since it is like, you know, it's like nighttime over there.
It's good. I had a little busy day with
Mhm.
stuff like that, but it's good.
Mhm. Well, that's good. Just to give context to everybody, so MBNel is calling us from California. I am in the Philippines, so I'm kind of calling from the future, I guess you could say that. So thank you so much, MBNel, for joining us today. I know you've been busy with, of course, the music and just, you know, talking about the release as well. So congratulations, by the way, on the new single and everything happening with you so far. So what's been keeping you busy? I know music is definitely one of those things. So what have you been doing to kind of, you know, balance everything in your life right now?
Been spending a lot of time with my family and my daughter,
Mhm.
stuff like that, and you know, just little stuff here and there, like the merch and the clothing and bouncing around from the studio. Just really trying to keep myself busy, but spend time with the family as well.
Yeah, I think work-life balance is very important for anybody, not just artists, but anybody in general. So that's a good tip for everybody who's tuning in. But it's really exciting because I did mention a while ago that you are Filipino American. So have you ever been to the Philippines?
Yeah, I've been there twice, but I was really young. I think the last time I've been there, I was like 10 or 11 years old. So
Mhm.
a long time. I definitely want to go back.
Yeah, I'm sure it's changed a lot since when you were 10. I can vouch for that, definitely. But what do you remember the most from the last time you were in the Philippines? I know you're a little bit young, but if you could piece together those things.
Uh, it was wild. Well, for me, I say it was wild. We had and
Mhm.
very warm.
Mhm.
I remember it was like not storming, but it was like a heavy rain. And we still went out to the beach and had fun in the beach and stuff like that.
Mhm. I
But
like those two words. Yeah, wild and warm. I think
yeah,
those are very those are very accurate to describe the Philippines. It did just storm actually a few days ago. So we're, you know, hoping everybody is safe right now tuning in, especially if you're in the Philippines. But yeah, warm I think is also very apt for Filipinos. I'm sure even Filipino Americans are very warm people from the ones I've met. So that's really cool. Did you actually have like a lot of Filipino culture when you were growing up, or do you know how to speak the language? Like, how did that work for you when you were growing up?
so growing up, I actually knew how to speak it a little bit.
Oh.
So my parents, they're Visayan, so yeah, they don't really speak that much English, like
Mhm.
that well at all. So growing up, I was like speaking it and understanding it, and then as I started getting more like my teenage years and started, you know, I like just lost it a little bit. Like I can't speak it that fluently no more. I still understand it,
Mhm.
but I can't really speak it no more.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you understand, I think that's the important part. They can't talk about you um,
Yeah.
as long as you understand what they're talking about. So that's really cool. Hopefully, we get to have you here in the Philippines sometime in the future. It's gonna be wild and warm. Wild and warm, literally in terms of people, but also the weather is gonna be a little bit wild. But we hope that you get to visit us very very soon. But we're also very excited that you're here to talk about the music. So how did you actually get started with music in the first place? Like, how did you start that journey off?
It was something I was always interested in since I was a kid, but I think I got it from my pops.
Mm,
He's a DJ, but like he's with like this little cover band, right? So they just do covers from like Journey and Bon Jovi and stuff like that. So growing up as a kid, I would see that there was always in the garage playing music,
mm,
and so I feel like that's where I got my musical touch from. But yeah, after that, in high school, I always been John down raps and stuff like that.
mhm. Yeah, I love that your dad was like really into Journey.
Yeah,
That's really different from what you're doing now in terms of music, but you always got to start somewhere. So,
yeah.
do you remember how the interest grew from, the kind of stuff that your parents listened to? I feel like a lot of us, we really got influenced in music by what our parents were listening to, right, when we were
Yeah.
young. But how did that grow into like rap? Like, who were certain artists maybe that changed the way you looked at music or appreciated music?
Uh, uh, of my environment, really. Like I
Mhm,
grew up in a rougher spot, Stockton,
mhm,
California. So and we didn't really live in the best neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? My parents came here for a better life, and wanted their child to do better things because it's a new opportunity for them there in America. So
mhm.
yeah, it was just my environment, my upbringing, but and I started catching my ear to new things. You know what I'm saying? Growing up.
Yeah, I feel like experience can definitely change somebody, especially if someone who wants to express all of that in music too. So, obviously, creating your own music, what were certain things you pulled inspiration from, and when it came to creating your own music, and how did you kind of build on all of that to create the kind of music as MBNel?
My biggest inspiration, like I said, would be my uh I describe it like my music is just like my diary, like my journal.
Mm,
So everything I talk about in my music is life experiences or stuff that I've seen or stuff that I witnessed or stuff that's going on around me. Like I don't really
mhm,
like just it started off just making music not because it sounded good, but just because it was just a way for me to express myself and open up to myself because I didn't really like opening up a lot to people, but
mhm.
music gave me that tool to freely speak and touch on things and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes your music so good. Like, it comes from a real place. Obviously, it comes from your experience. Like you said, it's kind of like your diary, which is, entails a lot of emotions and vulnerability coming from, your kind of storytelling too. But how does it feel to see so many people from many different parts of the world to kind of relate to your music and feel the music, even though it's your own personal experience?
It just goes to show like a message is like portraying a message is very powerful. Like
Mm,
whatever the struggle may be or whatever it is, uh, going through stuff can make people connect with people. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever that struggle may be, it's like, oh, I'm going through something. This person's going through something. Like I'm not alone. You get what I'm saying? Or even if it's
mm.
not the same, not necessarily the same type of situation. It's just giving giving that you know
Yeah, I feel like it makes people feel seen. Like, even people from the
yeah,
Philippines can relate to your music, even though it's not exactly the same experience. There are
yeah,
certain things that are similar with, your story and the stories of others, even here in the Philippines. So that's so crazy to think, right? Like, people all the way on the other side of the world are listening to your music, people you've never met. I've had like that sunk in for you, like, those kinds of things. So powerful.
yeah, yeah, it's very, it's still unbelievable to me, still seeing
Mhm.
it. And but now that I'm seeing it more, it just shows like how much of an impact um like for me to change the way I portray myself. You get what I'm saying? Knowing that I have
Mhm.
some type of influence to some kid somewhere. You know what I'm talking about?
Mhm. For sure. I feel like, yeah, I mean, sometimes it can be overwhelming, but I think also very motivational at the same time to see that, people do look to you to be a figure or some kind of figure to them, like in their life. So that's really cool. And throughout this journey, I'm sure you've also grown a lot as a person, not just as an artist, throughout this whole, music journey of yours. So what were certain things that you maybe discovered about yourself recently when it came to creating music, or were there new things about yourself that you found out throughout this process of creating music?
Yeah, the big thing is like the creativity. I honestly didn't know I possessed until I started like delving into different different things, and I feel like I surprised myself with seeing the capability I have to just be able to step in these different lanes of music and just express it differently than just regular rap, or what I'm saying, like trying the melodies, or even trying to sing like just different ways and allowing myself to be vulnerable.
Yeah, I think that's the exciting part about it. You never really know, like, where does it end, right? Like the creativity, it can go on for how long. So that's super exciting and makes us excited for everything that you have in store for all of us. But speaking of trying new things with music and trying out different aspects of music that you can do, your newest track, Fade Away, I think also kind of showcases a different ability of yours, like your singing too. So can you tell us more about Fade Away? Like, what is the story behind Fade Away?
Yeah, so I learned that a fan in 2019 committed suicide, and I actually met him a couple times at a couple of 2 shows and a couple meet and greets. So when I heard about that, it was crazy because I actually met this person a couple times. You get what I'm saying? So uh, it just kind of, and like there's people I know who goes through depression, or even at some point in my life uh experiences depression. So that just helped me want to speak about that subject in that song. So I kind of dedicated that to just that subject matter about that song.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I feel like, it is a very sensitive thing to talk about. A lot of us, know a lot of people too in our lives who have thought about it, or, it's a very real thing. So for a lot of people, they might feel like it's, a little bit difficult to talk about, but it is something that we have to talk about because it's very, very real. It has happened. I mean, to hear that a fan did commit suicide, I think is very devastating for anybody. And I feel like, for you to be able to express all of that emotion through the song, I think is an incredible thing because it can, speak to many different people all around the world. So how did it feel, or what was the process like for you, obviously taking that experience and translating all of that into the music?
Well, it was trying to come out of this way of thinking as MBNel. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Come out of that, get out of that the way of used to thinking of writing, and completely allowed me to completely delve into a whole new lane and just completely open up, like in this song. So like I feel like that's why I feel very proud of this song, just because like it just opened up a whole new capability of myself that I didn't really see in myself.
Mhm. Yeah, and I think that's always a good thing. Obviously, trying to tap into new things that you've never tried and trying to kind of rewire your brain and the things that you
Yeah,
do, like the process of creating music. So, to everybody tuning in, if you haven't listened to Fade Away by MBNel, make sure to check it out. It's a very meaningful song that has a very meaningful story behind it as well. So, make sure to check that out. But speaking of, since you've been talking about, trying to tap into things or talents that you've never knew you had, in terms of music. What else can we expect coming from you? I'm sure you've been working on a lot as well. So what have you been, working on these days, and what can we expect?
I got a couple big singles coming out with a very big artist. I can't really say right now, but look forward to that. It's a big artist. I have a new single coming out called Broken Hearts. That's gonna come in about 3-4 weeks, and then next month I actually go on a tour, my first international tour. So I'm gonna be hitting Canada, London. I'm still trying to get all the venues, but that's in the works right now.
A very exciting time for
Yeah.
MBNel, you guys. A lot of releases lined up and a tour, an international tour at that. So that's very, very exciting. Your first ever. So how has it been preparing for the tour? Like, what are your feels like these days building up to the tour?
Just excited. I had a tour last year and I experienced that. So definitely get enough rest. Like getting enough rest on my vocals, drinking a lot of tea. Just preparing myself mentally, physically.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like as an audience or like as a concert goer, I feel like a lot of us don't realize the kind of mental and physical preparation it goes for artists to perform for, how many nights straight. So good luck, MVNL, on the tour. It's going to be amazing. And hopefully we get to have you in the Philippines very, very soon. But till then, do you have a message to all your Filipino fans who can't wait to have you, but, are eagerly waiting for the time that you get to visit us here in the Philippines?
I'm definitely working on going out there soon. I wanna do a lot of different stuff. I wanna network with the music out there. Do something to probably give back probably to the kids or something. Just different stuff like that. Since I haven't been there for years, I'm really trying to go out there with the bang.
Oh, and we can't wait. We know it's going to be amazing, not just like the performance, but everything else that you have planned, working with the music industry, but also working with kids and like what else you can do here in the Philippines. We can't wait for that. But for now, obviously, we're going to savor all of your music online. So everybody tuning in, make sure to listen to MBNel's music. It's available everywhere on your favorite digital streaming platforms. But thank you so much, MBNel, for joining us here today on MYXclusive.
No, thank you for having me.
Thank you. And thank you as well to everybody who tuned in to this MYXclusive interview. Once again, this has been Sam with 2Ms and MBNel. Thank you, everybody.